All right.
Welcome to Virtual Curriculum Night. I'm Mrs. Kiner. I teach the K through second graders. This will be my 8th year working at Mill Street in structured learning.
I'm Miss Laura and I teach the 3rd through 5th graders. This is my first year at Mill Street. Before this, I was in Valley View School District for 2 years, and then I was in Schaumburg School District for 2 years.
This is the primary structured learning team. As you know, I am the teacher, Mrs. Kiner. We also have Mrs. Halicki as our psychologist, Dr. Torney as our occupational therapist, Dr. Newell as our physical therapist, Miss R as our speech path, Mr. R as our adaptive PE teacher. As far as teaching assistants though, we have 3. Their names are Mrs. Bromeo, Miss G, and Miss Sepna.
And then for the intermediate structured learning team, we have me as the teacher, Mrs. Gallagher as our psychologist, Dr. Torney, OT, Dr. Newell, PT, Miss R, speech path, Mr. R, adaptive PE, and then we have 2 teaching assistants, Mrs. B and Mrs. Terry. If you click this link, you can get check out our entire special education team. You can take a look for yourself, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And we are partners in learning, and we're teams. So you are the most important influence in your child's education. Did you know that? Your children have the greatest gains in the areas of academics, communication, social, emotional, and independence when the school and home work together as a cooperative team. What we need from you is a positive support of school and lifelong learning, consistency in the approach to support learning, open and ongoing communication with strengths and needs for your child. Contact us as soon as needs arise. We will either have daily communication logs or any notes that might go home with your student. Make sure to check their backpacks. Also Seesaw, if you haven't already, you can sign up for that. And we can use that to tell you about your child's day. So what you can expect from our team is our Mill Street support team is consistency, communication, contact as soon as a concern arises, October and March conferences. We will also meet with you for annual reviews and re-evals. We will talk to you about progress reports and communication sheets or Seesaw from great things we do throughout our day.
So our daily schedule is, it varies between our grade levels. So we have sent home that your child's schedule for the day. We will also be sending home what specials they have on what days in their gen ed class. Also throughout the day, they are seen by our service team, our speech path, our OT, our PT, our psychologist. There are also times where the service team will push in to our classrooms and run a large group like SEL, or social emotional learning, fine and gross motor groups, or a cooking activity.
All right, transportation. Whenever there's a change from your child's routine, you must receive a note or an email. Please call the office directly with changes that occur during the school day for that. Bussers and car riders will be dismissed promptly at 2:30. Please, if you're picking up your child, try to be on time or let us know if you're going to be late.
We work on skills such as math, literacy, and content areas and writing in the structured learning classroom. But we follow alternative standards called the essential elements. The essential elements are standards aligned to college and career readiness standards that are the Common Core and define grade level specific expectations about what students with significant cognitive disabilities should know and be able to do.
So if you click on the links, this will bring you to reporting standards for each grade level. These are the standards that you will see on your child's report card.
We also work on social emotional learning, or SEL, and it is the process through which your child acquires and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy towards others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Each trimester, we will explicitly teach social emotional skills and communicating progress towards the attainment of these skills on the report card.
All right, stop unexpected behaviors and go expected behaviors. Michelle Garcia Winner uses the language expected and unexpected to define behavior within a group. Go behaviors are things that people do that are expected behaviors and make people feel good. Stop behaviors are things that people do that are unexpected behaviors and make people feel bad. So this is the language we use with the students.
We also work on a program called Zones of Regulation. This is designed to help students foster self-regulating skills and emotional control. Sometimes it's not academic problems that restrict students from being included in their gen ed, but rather some of their behaviors. Students need to be taught what they can do differently and be given the opportunities to practice the skills in a safe and supportive environment. The zones help students to learn to recognize their emotions while they still have control, as well as gain skills to control their impulses. The zones is not a behavior management program, and none of the zones are bad, like none of the feelings are bad. As there are times we experience emotions that fall under each one.
So if you look at this next slide, this is just the zones of regulation chart. This is what we reference and use as a visual with our students, and we often have them check in and tell us how they're feeling by using the pictures. So blue, they might feel sad. An example, the green zone is happy, yellow zone would be frustrated or wiggly or lost with some control, and then red zone really means that they're mad and angry.
Also use a tool or an assessment program called the VB-MAP, or the Verbal Behavior Milestone Assessment and Placement Program. The VB-MAP is a language and social skills assessment tool for children with autism and other developmental disabilities. The VB-MAP is an assessment tool, curriculum guide, and skill tracking system that is based on established developmental milestones and research from the field of applied behavior analysis, or ABA. We give the milestones and various portions of the VB-MAP at each year at the annual review, if it is appropriate. The milestone assessment looks at 3 levels of typical development and covers 16 key skill areas, such as imitation or math and reading. The barriers assessment looks at 24 language and learning barriers that may be interfering with your students' progress.
All right, standard-based reporting. Standard-based report card provides detailed information of how well students are progressing towards standards in a specific content area. These standards directly align with what's being taught and assessed in the classroom. Students are continually assessed on their progress towards mastery. So the purpose of the report card is to communicate students' progress towards standards. Report card is shared once in each of the 3 trimesters. Report cards are now electronic, and you'll receive information on how to access the report card online.
Teachers report students' progress on 2 types of standards: the content standards and the process standard. Content reporting standards articulate what students know and are able to do academically, while process standards refer to how the student is learning. The process reporting standards describe learning behaviors that are important across all content areas. So here's our content standards are reported using a proficiency scale, 4 to 1. So 1 meaning they're beginning to learn the skill, 2 is they're almost there, 3 is that they're secure and they've mastered that skill, and 4 is above and beyond the goal of the standard. And then the process standards are reporting using words consistently, occasionally, and seldom. So you'll see either a C, an O, or an S on the report card. And students will also receive a progress report along with the report card 3 times a year on how they're progressing towards their IEP goals.
All right, IEP, Individualized Education Plan. We use facilitated IEP meetings. The facilitated IEP meetings are developed as a collaborative team. We will share responsibility for the meeting process and results. Decision meetings and any conflicts that are managed through use of facilitation skills. Present levels of performance, progress towards goals, proposed assessment, and classroom accommodations, along with an update of a behavior intervention plan, if appropriate, will be sent home with your child 5 days before our meeting.
So during the facilitated IEP meeting or the annual review or reevaluation, we have outcomes that we would like to achieve before the meeting ends. So the outcomes are an understanding and agreement on goals and objectives, and an understanding of the agreement and on placement and services. So when we talk about, and then we could go over the agenda. So our agenda for our facilitated IEP meeting is that we're going to introduce ourselves and our roles of each team member. So I'm gonna have each team member introduce themselves, including parents. So come ready to introduce yourself and what would you like to bring to the IEP meeting. We also talk about present levels of performance, starting with strengths and moving to the areas of growth. Through the areas of growth, we are going to talk about the goals for the next IEP meeting, and then the accommodations and modifications that your child will need to be successful. We will then talk about services and specialized instruction, like structured learning, and the related services such as speech, OT, PT, and counseling. Then we will talk about our placement, where the students are going to be during the day, including their gen ed. Then we will work on talking about special education transportation and extended school year. Once we get information about ESY, we will send those through email on the dates so you can plan ahead.
Right, and then this is if you click this link, when you get a moment, you can make sure that you check out our LAMP presentation. LAMP is for LC or library, art, music, and PE. So they had created a presentation about what they do during those subject areas as well.
If you have any other questions or questions about this presentation or concerns, please feel free to reach out to either one of us. We look forward to working with each and every family this year. So that concludes our presentation. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.